everybody, Jason here of GhostbustersNews.com, and as always, Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube. And today, we're going to kick off our reviews of the brand new Ghostbusters Plasma Series figures from Hasbro. And I say kick off because there are 6 in the line. And today, we're going to be taking a look at the first 3, which is the modern day Peter Venkman, Ray Stantz, and Winston Zeddemore. And then tomorrow, be sure to check back here to Ghostbusters News as we take a look at the brand new stars of Ghostbusters Afterlife. We're talking Trevor, Podcast, and Lucky. Now before we get too deep into today's video, if you'd like to buy any of these figures, we do have purchase links and they can be found right down below in this video's description. But yeah, today, once again, we're going to be taking a look at the modern day renditions of Peter Venkman, Ray Stantz, and Winston Zeddemore. Now I have no idea if these are Ghostbusters Afterlife spoilers. I don't know if they're going to appear in the film like this, in their flight suits. I mean, I certainly hope they do. I mean, that would be so cool. But you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's first fixate on the packaging. And it's pretty close to what we saw with the original Plasma Series line. Really, the only change up here is it looks dirtier. You can certainly notice a bit better, like near the bottom, where they've got like the Ghostbusters logo patch, and also the character's identifiable name tag patch. Now, of course, here we've got window-style packaging, so we get a pretty good idea as to what the figure looks like, and all the accessories they come with. And whoa, I don't know if it's just me, but there's something that like instantly ages me when I take a look at old man Bill Murray. Like, it makes me feel so much older. Now we're going to fixate on the head sculpt once we get him outside of the packaging. But first here you can see he comes with a proton pack, a proton stream, and definitely one of the coolest accessories so far in this whole Plasma Series line. You can see he comes with his ESP cards that he used at the beginning of the original Ghostbusters film. Moving on here, we got the heart of the Ghostbusters, Dr. Ray Stantz. Good old Danny Aykroyd there, and his accessories are very similar to Venkman's in the respects that he does come with a proton pack, also a proton stream. But his unique item here is really cool. It is a copy of Tobin's Spirit Guide, which from everything we've been seeing, it looks like it'll play a pretty big part in the upcoming film, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, rounding out the trio, I am so happy he's still rocking that mustache. We have got Winston Zeddemore. Now, as the norm, he comes with a proton pack and a proton stream, and his unique accessory, it is so basic, but so awesome, as he comes with a newspaper. More importantly, a classified ad, the same ad that he answered back in the original Ghostbusters film. Now, turning the boxes around to the back here, you'll see it shows all 6 figures in the line. Once again, Trevor, Podcast, Lucky, Peter, Ray, and Winston. And each figure also comes with a Build a Terror-Dog piece. Actually, correction, a Build a Sentinel Terror-Dog piece. Now, on the back of the box arts, there's like little bios for each character, and they're semi-spoilery. I mean, they're really small details, and if you don't want to hear about it, probably skip this part of the video, like maybe skip 30 seconds to a minute ahead. But let's talk about him. For Peter here, it says, Professor Peter Venkman? Yeah, we were pretty shocked someone gave that guy tenure. So it looks like Peter is now a professor. For Ray's, it's pretty basic. All it says is, Ray Stantz says, don't go chasing ghosts, but if you do, call them. Which it certainly looks like he got called in that second Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer. Now coming up last, we've got Winston here, and it says, executive offices are a long way from the firehouse, but you can still always count on Winston. So in Ghostbusters Afterlife, is Winston going to be some like top-ranking executive? It certainly sounds like it. Now taking a look at the sides of the packaging here, we've got this really kind of basic minimalistic art. We've seen similar art used with like previous Plasma Series figures, but the big change here is now we've got the main 4 from Ghostbusters Afterlife. From top to bottom, we've got Lucky, Podcast, Phoebe, and Trevor. Now I know people out there, they're curious, they're wondering, they're going to be asking questions in the comments section. Yes, Phoebe is on the side of the box. Yes, we've already seen what her action figure is going to look like, and she will be part of an upcoming Ghostbusters Plasma Series release, so be patient. And I think that's all I can really say about the packaging here, so let me go ahead and let me crack these open. So first up here, we've got Dr. Peter Venkman out of the box. And I love the face sculpt here. I mean, this does look like a modern day Bill Murray. It really seems like Hasbro is upping their game with the Plasma Series figures with this new line. Especially when it comes to the facial detail. We can see like the lines like on his forehead, the bags under his eyes. Sorry, Bill, you do have bags under your eyes. It's accurate. And I also love all the detail work they included on the hair. The little color highlights of the gray, that receding hairline, it looks great. Now taking a look at the body, it's pretty much the exact same body that we saw with the Series 1 Plasma Series figure Venkman. Really the only change up here is he's got like the thicker torso. The torso they used for Ray in Series 1. In fact, all 3 figures we're taking a look at today now include that thicker torso. As well, keen observers may notice that the flight suits are a slightly different color. More on that later. Now detail-wise, of course, we do have that Venkman name tag located on the chest. Taking a look on the right arm here, we've got that very clean printing of the No Ghost logo patch. Moving our focus a little further down here, we've got the military web belt, which is the exact same belt that we saw with his Series 1 figure release. So on there, we've got some key fobs, we've got a radio, and also the belt gizmo. We have the leg hose coming out of the left leg there, and also being Dr. Peter Venkman, of course, he's got his pants untucked. Now turning Venkman around here, I actually do want to point out that they fixed the elbow pads. You see, let's bring in that Series 1 Venkman and do a quick comparison. You can see with that Series 1 release on the left, the padding of the elbow pads was actually painted black. And that's not accurate to the film. So it looks like they got that right with this new rendition of Venkman. Now also in the back, you're going to notice there's a big hole there, and that is for the peg in the proton pack to go into. And to get the pack on these characters is crazy easy. You just run one arm and the head through the straps, get that peg connected into the back, and then there's a little area where the straps and also the little plastic Alice frame connects together on the side. And that is one big upgrade I'm so happy to report about. You see in the first series, Ray, he did have that kind of thicker torso that Venkman has here, and I had such a hard time at actually getting those straps connected. And it looks like Hasbro, they were listening, because these proton packs go on without any hassle. And speaking of those proton packs, I love the way they look on these figures. For this scale, everything is so accurate. Like honestly, let's turn Venkman around here and take a closer look at the proton pack. This is one of the most detailed proton packs, once again, we've seen in this scale. We got the red wires, the blue wires, the ribbon cable. You can see one of the cyclotron lights actually lit up there. Of course, we also do have the neutrino wand, which is attached. And much like that Series 1 neutrino wand, you can detach it and put it inside the character's hands. And being that they are using the Series 1 neutrino wand and proton packs, I didn't really touch on this in my review of those figures. You can actually see the front barrel of the wand actually has kind of like an extension attached to it. And I'm not really too sure why Hasbro added this to the sculpts. I'm assuming it was because it made the proton streams attach much easier. And we are going to get to the proton stream here in a second, so don't worry. But yeah, the small like little attachment, it doesn't really bother me at all. Now Venkman does come with a proton stream, which easily attaches to the tip of that neutrino wand. It looks great, it's such a cool effect. And one thing I did notice actually when it came to the wands this time around, is it doesn't seem as soft as what we saw with the Series 1 of Plasma Series figures. Meaning I don't think the wand is actually going to bend as easy when you have the proton stream attached to it, which is a huge plus for folks like me who is an out-of-box collector. Now Venkman does come with a unique accessory, and these are really, really cool. They are miniature ESP cards. You know, just a couple of wavy lines, it is a star. Obviously a callback to the original Ghostbusters film. At the same time, I do wonder if these ESP cards are going to show up in Afterlife. Now speaking of the original film, let's get that Series 1 Plasma Series Peter Venkman figure in here, because I think I'm actually going to have him holding those ESP cards, given the fact that he was using those in the original film. And also while we got that figure out, let's do a quick comparison between the two Venkmans. And as I alluded to earlier, the big difference you're going to see here is the actual color of the flight suit. And honestly, it does look so much better. I have to admit, the color of the original flight suits didn't really bother me all that much, but compared to these new figures, yeah, I kind of want all of them to have that darker flight suit. It does look so much better, and I'm so glad that Hasbro made the change here. Now moving on here, we are going to take a look at the brand new Plasma Series renditions of Ray Stantz and Winston Zeddemore. But outside of the face, their bodies are pretty much the exact same as to what we saw with the Peter Venkman figure. With really the only difference here, you can see their pants are tucked into the boots. And given that, I'm really just going to focus in on the head sculpts here and also their accessories. So first, let's take a look at Ray Stantz, which once again, I think Hasbro has done a great job here at giving us a modern day Dan Aykroyd. Now I will admit, it's kind of weird to see a modern day Danny Aykroyd and he's not wearing, you know, a hat or shades. Because when it comes to interviews and Crystal Head vodka signings, that's how we typically see him. But I do think the facial detail work here looks great. I especially love the sculpting that went into like the nose. I mean, that is Dan Aykroyd's nose, no doubt. He's also got that receding hairline. You can also see he's got a bit of gray around the sides of the hair. The Ray figures are usually my favorite when it comes to like any Ghostbusters action figure line, and this one is scratching me right where I itch. I really do like it. Now, as I already mentioned, the body is pretty much the exact same to what we saw with Venkman, with the expected change being that Stantz name tag. Also, his military belt is the exact same belt that we saw with the Series 1 release, meaning he's got the radio, key fobs, the belt gizmo, and also this little hook here that you can actually hang ecto goggles off of. So if you do have that Series 1 Ray, you can pop the goggles right there on his belt. Now I do have to report that sadly I was unable to get those Series 1 ecto goggles around this brand new Plasma Series Ray Stantz head. However, tomorrow here on the channel, we are going to be taking a look at the brand new podcast figure, and he does come with a pair of Ghostbusters Afterlife themed goggles. So in that video, we're certainly going to try and see if those goggles will fit this new Ray Stantz figure. So certainly check out that video when it releases tomorrow here on the Ghostbusters News YouTube channel. Now, much like Venkman, Ray does come with a proton stream, which attaches the exact same way. And I love the fact that each of the main original Ghostbusters here do come with the stream in this set. As well, Ray's exclusive accessory is, get this, a copy of Tobin's Spirit Guide. And this is my favorite accessory, I think, so far in the Plasma Series line. The actual design of it looks great. It also looks amazing in the character's hands. And yeah, I do love all that detail that is on the front. As well, taking a look on the back of the book here, you'll see there's like all these like fake tears and like marks on it. Now, it doesn't open at all, but I really didn't expect that here. To be honest, I think it looks much better as just like a static prop. Now let's do a quick comparison between the two different Ray Stantz figures. Once again, the main change up here is the color of that flight suit, obviously outside of the heads. And like I said earlier, those goggles will not fit that new Ray Stantz figure, but tomorrow we are going to see if podcast ecto goggles will fit on Ray. So once again, be on the lookout for that when the next review drops tomorrow here on the Ghostbusters News channel. Now moving on from Ray, we have got Winston Zeddemore. And this figure does look pretty much perfect. We've got modern day Ernie Hudson in a flight suit, and this is an image Ghostbuster fans have been seeing for years. I mean, if you see Ernie Hudson at like a convention, you're gonna be hard pressed to not see him in a flight suit. And with that, the head sculpt looks great. You can see the hair is kind of reminiscent to what he had in Ghostbusters 2. He's also rocking that mustache, and I do love all the detail work that went into the face. Despite the fact that Ernie Hudson really hasn't aged all that much since 1984. Like, honestly, this guy has found the fountain of youth. Now, much like the Ray figure, you can see they added a bit of gray paint to the sides of like the hair, just to kind of give him a bit of age. And then taking a little bit further down there, of course, we do have the unique Zeddemore name tag. Now, much like Venkman and Stantz, Zeddemore does come with his own proton stream, which of course connects the same way, and it looks great in hand. But his unique accessory, this is just stupid fun. You can see he comes with a newspaper. More importantly, some classified ads. The same ad that he answered to get the job with the Ghostbusters. You can see it says, Ghostbuster for hire. Do you believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography, telekinetic movement, full trans mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis? Steady paycheck, apply now. There's also tons of other Easter eggs on this paper, including an advertisement for a 1959 Cadillac, help wanted at the public library, Camp Wakanda looking for counselors, Stay Puft Marshmallow taste testers, an interior designer at the Sedgwick Hotel, and several more. And as you're taking a look at right here, it does look great in Winston's hands. And after that, let's go ahead and give you a comparison between the two Winston Zeddemores. And aside from a slightly different haircut and a little gray in the hair, like I said, Ernie Hudson really has not aged all that much in the past 30 plus years. I love both of these figures, but once again, that new color on the flight suits just looks so good. Now, as I mentioned earlier, each one of these figures do come with a Build a Sentinel Pterodog piece, and with Peter, Ray, and Winston, this is what we got so far. 2 legs and an arm. There's really not too much we can do with these pieces just yet. But of course, check back tomorrow when we get the other arm, the head, the torso, and we can build that Sentinel Pterodog. So certainly, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to Ghostbusters News here on YouTube, and be one of the first to see that video when it drops. But in the meantime, let's get Winston, Peter, and Ray all together, because do these figures ever look amazing as a display piece out of the packaging? I love the way they look, and I cannot wait to get them set up here in the collection. So if you're like me and you'd like to buy a set of these brand new Ghostbusters Plasma Series from Hasbro, like I've already said, we do have purchase links and they can be found right down below in this video's description. That's all I've got for you here right now. As always, be sure to subscribe to Ghostbusters News here on YouTube, plus that bell notification icon to stay up to date with everything that's happening within the Ghostbusters world. If you'd like to join up with Ghostbusters News, check out our Patreon page. We have a link to that down below in this video's description, and I'll see everybody right back here next time.
Projections are quite ethereal and not what you want when you eat your cereal. Accelerate proton, shorten streams. Don't wanna get my face burns up, go team, cause you are not alone. Got a problem that needs solving, just pick up the phone. They'll answer, dial that number, do it on your own. Not tonight, baby, you need the professionals. Yeah.
Pick up your phone and call the professionals. Ghostbusters.
No one dies tonight. Run for your lives. Alright. No one dies tonight. Close
phone and call the professionals. Ghostbusters. Our courteous and efficient staff is on call 24 hours a day to serve all your supernatural elimination needs.